welcome to the Convergent video series for the week of August 17th. Top three things we're going to cover on the video this week. First, the markets were up with the S&P nearing all-time highs. We'll talk about a lot of economic data, including some positive moves on unemployment. And finally, we'll talk about the stimulus package with, unfortunately, no deal passed last week. So before we jump into the numbers, just want to say I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I had my two daughters solo for the weekend with my wife out of town, and while I didn't get nearly as much done on the projects that I had hoped to, it was really neat to spend so much time with them. And on Saturday, we got to spend some time on our pond with our youngest. She loves blackberries, as I've mentioned before, and was picking them all over the pond, and our oldest swimming in the pond. So it was just a lot of good times, and I hope you guys had a great weekend enjoying the summer heat as well. So on to the data for the week. Markets, as we mentioned, were up on the week with the S&P just up over 0.5%, with the NASDAQ 100 pretty much flat on the week. So I think there's still a lot of waiting and seeing what's going to happen with this next stimulus package. But still, markets are, S&P in particular, back near all-time highs. On to the economic data. A lot of numbers in last week. We'll start as normal with all of the unemployment data for the week. And here's where we really saw some pretty good moves on unemployment in some positive directions. So first, new claims for unemployment were filed were under 1 million for the first time since early March as the pandemic began. Continuing claims were down closer to about 16 million overall. And total unemployment came in around 28 million. So all really solid signs, some solid moves there that obviously we hope we'll see some continuation on all of that and see some continued drops on the unemployment. What we'd really like to see is some big moves on a weekly basis showing really large positive trends. Some other economic data that was released last week. First was retail sales, and we saw retail sales were up 2.7% year over year. A lot of that really is being fueled by the stimulus, with being in one of the worst recessions, at least in terms of a short-term recession we've ever been in, to still see retail sales, people are spending money up so much. A lot of that is coming from the stimulus packages. So we'll have to see what happens, right now with now 2 weeks into August with no stimulus package done to see if those numbers are severely impacted as we go into those numbers releases here in the next couple of months. Also, while that was positive, one of the data points released last week that wasn't so positive was industrial production. So while we've seen some nice recoveries in certain parts of the economy, on the manufacturing industrial production area, it's still down over 8% year over year, even with some nice moves in that area over the last couple of months. So while certain parts of the economy are really humming again, there's definitely certain parts that really just aren't back to full gear at this point. So on to the stimulus package, which is impacting a lot of that. The weeks leading up to this last week, we saw a lot of headlines around how close they were on a lot of areas of the stimulus deal and expecting to get something done. Where really last week, all of those headlines turned to how far away they were on other parts of the package and that it wasn't likely to get done. And by the weekend, both the House and the Senate were on vacation for the rest of August through Labor Day, leaving 25 million plus Americans filing for unemployment without any sense for when they're going to be receiving some additional support. And so I think whether or not you believe or agree with how much we're talking about in terms of stimulus for individuals who are most impacted by these shutdowns, what is a challenge for me is that it seems to be no problem to get billions of dollars of stimulus passed, whether it's through the Fed, to get onto the balance sheets of our largest corporations. There seems to be not that same level of urgency to support the 25 plus million Americans who are most impacted by these shutdowns. So that's a concern. And also, if we look at this chart around the stimulus packages and what's happened with that is while all of this economic activity in the last couple of months has been fueled by the dollars coming directly to individuals and corporations, as you'll see, a lot of these are beginning to fall off. So unemployment benefits have come way down, and we don't know what the next package will look like. PPP loans for small businesses, while a small package is a part of the new stimulus package that's being discussed, much lower than what was done previously. And then all these forbearance programs allowing people to delay their mortgage payments, delay their car payments, delay their credit card payments, all of those are ending as well. And so even if we do get some sort of stimulus package passed, a lot of those dollars may be forced to go into catching up on rent, catching up on mortgage payments and the like. And so we're definitely concerned about whether we'll see some of these same retail sales numbers and other areas of the economy doing as well based on that. So hopeful, bottom line, we're cautiously optimistic that some of this data that is coming through is showing that we're in signs of recovery. But the biggest risk to that is with the rise in COVID cases and with some additional shutdowns at a state level, are we going to see these numbers start to level off and go the other way, or are we going to see more of a consistent trend moving in the positive direction with this? So as always, individually, it's important to assess your own willingness to take on risk as we're evaluating all of these areas. So as normal, if you have any individual questions on what you should be doing with what's going on in the markets right now, we'd love to hear from you, and feel free to reach out. But with that, we hope you have a great week, and we'll look forward to talking to you soon.